Chapter 3 Neutrality, the point of surrender and where mystical divinity begins. The pause between two actions. Find comfort and take refuge here. It is the intention and embodiment of neutrality that matters most, not the length of time in which we exist within it. Everything is created in the neutrality of love. Thus, it makes perfect sense that we are nourished by returning to this place. When we embrace neutrality, we experience moments of clarity that allow the divine to flow freely through us, opening the way for new perspectives to arise. Embracing neutrality does not equate to doing nothing. Rather, the energy of neutrality embodies action, sharp clarity, heightened intuition, and potent synchronicities, all of which align the universe in our favor. From early on, we are conditioned to perceive the world through narrow dichotomies, virtue and vice, angels and demons. This duality is reflected in our literature, films, and folklore where heroes combat villains. We have come to believe that there is always an enemy that we must protect ourselves from. The art of neutrality takes practice as it contradicts everything we have been taught. Neutrality paves the way home to our true nature, offering a sanctuary of serenity and simplicity. It is a state of equanimity and inclusivity, where we observe our thoughts, emotions, and internal circumstances without becoming excessively attached or adverse to them. To fully embody, we must cultivate a non-judgmental and accepting attitude toward whatever arises. We find refuge here as the mind stills. This tranquil state of existence grants crystal clear vision, thus empowering us to make choices that resonate with all of life. In embodying neutrality, we transform narrow egoic perspectives into expansive views free from short-sighted attempts to fix something. This sacred ground ensures that our creations are not tainted by doubt or fear. Neutrality is the essence of conscious presence. This state is far from a retreat into indifference or apathy, nor is it confined to times of formal meditation. Rather, neutrality is an actionable state, the embodiment of heightened, quiet awareness that we can learn to integrate daily. This unattached state allows one to navigate life's inevitable ebb and flow with an elegant poise, liberated from the chains of judgment and predefined boundaries. Enacting neutrality is a skillful act of detaching from thoughts and external realities that hold energetic ties, which can steer our choices and thereby reinforce patterns in the body that we no longer wish to live. Resting in neutrality, we are better able to see negativity and illusions as such. Here we see the power of each moment, that each moment, depending on how we orientate to it, carries the possibility to set us free and create new pathways. In truth, we must be dedicated to cultivating insight. We must also be willing to pause and sit in the potential discomfort of neutrality, caused by witnessing a reoccurring pattern and not getting tangled by our habitual way of reacting. New and unknown is inherently edgy. Can we relate to this edge or discomfort from a neutral state of acceptance? If so, we can more easily listen to our inner knowing and make decisions that are aligned with our highest good and in service to all life. Until practiced, neutrality remains a mere theory. We may even reject it for being too new agey or woo-woo, or doubt its potency since it is rooted in renunciation. Paradoxically, however, it is often the simple acts that have the greatest impact. That said, when caught in the throes of fight, flight, freeze response, or when overwhelmed by anxiety, the concept of neutrality may feel impossible to imply. Yet, the very beauty lies in the application. Ideally, we can practice entering neutrality in calmer moments, when we are not highly activated or charged. We can often hold ourselves to unrealistic levels of perfection. In noticing this pattern, try to release these expectations and allow for the unavoidable messiness of the repattering process. Most important is that our intentions are clear and our effort is consistent. From this place, we can train our bodies to lean into this new vibrational state, centered and non-reactive. Remember, all patterns born from separation seek resolution for our evolution. As we step into the unity paradigm, a cascade of emotions can arise as our previously held beliefs rooted in separation begin to fall apart, leaving us feeling unstable. Cultivating a vibration of neutrality can support us in navigating this unfamiliar territory, allowing us to witness our evolution without reacting or inhibiting the process out of fear of change. That said, whatever emotion manifests in the body is valid and must be honored in order for it to be released. We must relearn how to help our emotions be in motion. See it, feel it, move it. By embodying neutrality, we become the witness. There is no wrong way. Have patience. It takes practice to enter neutrality. Each time we set the intention to embody neutrality, it becomes a visceral, felt sense. As the body forms the memory of neutrality, it becomes easier to return each time. As a pattern becomes ripe to resolve, pre-echoes ripple out as energetic reverberations in our field. As a pattern builds, there comes a moment when we have the opportunity to either resolve or repeat the pattern. This is why entering into the neutrality of love, taking pause, is vital in the process. In time, we learn to sense pre-echoes as they emerge, cueing us to enter into neutrality. Here we are able to choose how we wish to respond. Resolving every pattern requires action, although sometimes this entails the act of doing nothing. Regardless of how we resolve the pattern, there will be a post-echo of those patterns resolved. These post-echoes lead us to believe the pattern is not really resolved. These post-echoes hold no power. We may feel grief and loss after resolving a pattern. The pull to restart the resolved pattern to regain the familiar is part of the post-echo phenomena. We currently exist with an intensified and polarized paradigm opposing viewpoints. When we speak of resolving patterns, it can be confusing and feel as though some patterns never fully resolve. However, we can be sure that the separation patterns will be completely resolved in the coming months and years. This is good news. The reason we can be certain of this is that these patterns will no longer be vibrationally sustained as the vibration of the body and the earth reaches a tipping point into a newly formed unity vibration. For now, we weaken these stubborn patterns as they reappear exponentially, giving us opportunities to resolve them. Every time we witness these familiar patterns in neutrality, it weakens them further until they are fully resolved. This polarization manifests as a gradual yet consistent depletion of our personal and collective energy, often leaving us feeling angry, frustrated, diminished, or disempowered. The very pursuit and practice of neutrality can aid this, thereby creating more space for play, joy, creativity, and abundance. Neutrality is a living meditation and represents the art of emotional intelligence. As the observer, we learn to respond with empathy and compassion, thus bringing these qualities to the forefront of our interactions. In turn, this practice enriches our understanding of the intricacy of human relationships. We all wish to live in a non-judgmental environment. We must turn within to make change. For it is self-judgment that breeds external judgment. Fortunately, however, in the neutrality of love, judgment cannot exist. Here in neutrality, we can validate our true nature, our emotions, and other humans, all while not feeding the wolf of separation. Adverse reactions stem from a sense of separation. The imbalanced ego, on its quest for validation, often insists on being right and feeds off the surge of energy released by the endocrine system when defending the illusion of separation. The ego, however, does not realize that these bursts of energy are not sustainable sources of vitality. At the core of our being lives the neutrality of love, where all solutions exist free from separation. This is our divinity. From this deep space, we begin to trust our internal guidance system and cultivate new origin seeds. From this vantage point of neutrality, we can embrace the belief that every facet of our experience is co-created in service to our evolution, which in turn facilitates our extraordinary human journey. These advanced yet simple teachings will bring those who are ready into this radical remembrance of unity. From this place, a new purpose emerges as to why we are here. We become the bridge to unity for others. It is a true honor and pleasure to be a catalyst for awakening. We are all in this together, and no one is better than another. Concepts of hierarchy and comparison are unjust and based in the old separation paradigm. From this knowing, we may take action from the heart of neutrality. The balanced, integrated energy we emit is of far greater concern than the energy we receive, as we are the process of alchemy itself. Mastering the art of neutrality, however, is essential to fully unleash our alchemical potential. Awakening does not have to be tedious. However, it does require steady effort. To refine our skills, we simply practice in any scenario we can become the observer. Notice subtle shifts in our energy as we respond to stimuli while staying aligned with our true nature. Then celebrate the newfound enthusiasm and abundance born from living and acting in neutrality. Neutrality in all situations. In our daily lives, we encounter numerous situations that challenge our ability to remain neutral and open-minded. The practice of neutrality, however, can be cultivated in every aspect of our lives, bringing a sense of calm and clarity to our interactions and experiences, both inner and outer. Let's begin with the simple act of lying down in bed at night. As we settle into the pillow, we can observe thoughts as they arise, passing through our minds. Without judgment or blame, we allow them to flow like clouds drifting across the sky. We can turn awareness to the breath, sensing the effortless movement in and out as our body relaxes into the mattress. When we wake, we can practice extending this state of being into the rest of our day. Before rising from bed, take a few moments to lay in neutrality. observing thoughts and sensations without judgment. The length of time can vary 20 seconds to 10 minutes, whatever feels accessible and intuitive. It is best to rely on our inner sense of timing rather than looking at the clock to determine when to transition. Throughout the day, we can continue exploring neutrality in the bathroom, while driving, at work, or in the grocery store. Simply take a moment to pause and recenter ourselves, observing present thoughts, feelings, and sensations without opinion. Try habit stacking, the pairing of mindful awareness with habitual doing, such as brushing the teeth, washing hands, opening a door, doing the dishes. In turn, we gradually weave this state of neutrality into our diverse and dynamic lives, creating inner peace and safety. By practicing neutrality in a variety of settings, we do not become dependent on perfect external or internal circumstances. This is essential to be able to live in neutrality. Further, it is an embodiment of unity, for only entering neutrality in curated times, such as formal meditation, could be seen as a form of separation. Once the body establishes a memory of neutrality, we can harness this state to make informed and intuitive decisions. Through this practice, we find a simple yet powerful way to navigate our human experience in both an inclusive and expansive manner, free from undue influence by fear. By allowing our inner knowing to grow in the fertile ground of neutrality, we empower ourselves in attuning to the wisdom of our bodies. We gain access to a wealth of information and insights that may not be immediately apparent to the conscious mind. As we become more attuned to our emotions and physical sensations, we are resourced to make choices in alignment with our true nature of unity. Furthermore, by cultivating neutrality, the body is granted the opportunity to rest, healing the nervous system. When we no longer feel the need to guard and defend our beliefs, we open ourselves to deeper listening and more thoughtful responses, ones that bring harmony rather than division. As our inner barriers soften, our energy expands, creating space for new possibilities to unfold. We begin to allow for greater flow in our lives. From this place of acceptance, we discover a deeper strength, one rooted in resilience and adaptability, allowing us to meet challenges with ease and grace. This is the practice of acceptance, allowing whatever arises to arise, without resistance or attachment to the body or mind being a certain way.